The quotient rule is a formula for taking the derivative of a quotient of two functions. It makes it somewhat easier to keep track of all the terms. Let's look at the formula. If you have function f of x in the numerator and the function g of x in the denominator, then the derivative is found using this formula. The formula is the derivative of f of x over g of x is equals g of x times the derivative of f of x minus f of x times the derivative of the g of x over g of x. States that to find the derivative of f of x divided by the g of x, you must: number 1, take g of x times the derivative of f of x. Number 2, then from the product, you must subtract the product of f of x times the derivative of g of x. And lastly, you divide those terms by g of x squared. The quotient rule formula may be a little difficult to remember. Perhaps a little yodeling type chant can help you using the mnemonic. Here the formula of the quotient rule in mnemonic. Derivative of x is equals to low d high minus high d low over low squared.
For example, assume that f of x is equal to 7x plus 4 and g of x is x squared plus 5. First, take g of x and multiply it by the derivative of f of x, which is 7, and from that product, you must subtract the product of f of x times the derivative of g of x, which is 2x. And finally, you divide those terms by g of x squared. To simplify the given expression, you should use the distributive property of multiplication. First, distribute 7 to x squared plus 5, which will give you 7x squared plus 35. And distribute 2x to 7x plus 4, which will give you 14x minus 8x. After which, you will add similar terms, which in turn will give you negative 7x squared minus x plus 35 all over x squared plus 5 squared. Example, assume that f of x is equal to x squared plus 3x and g of x is equal to x plus 4. Now, take x plus 4 and multiply it by the derivative of f of x, which is equal to 2x plus 3. Then, from that product, you subtract x squared plus 3 times the derivative of g of x, which is equal to 1. And finally, you divide all those terms by x plus 4 squared. Now, you will add similar terms, and that will leave you to x squared plus 8x plus 12 all over x plus 4 squared. And you will simplify the terms through factoring, which will give you x plus 2 times x plus 6 all over x